Welcome to the Masterpiece Effect, where we don't just chase success, we craft it. I'm Elnaj, self-leadership alchemist, Ironman finisher, and your guide on this unconventional journey to elite performance, legacy, and self-mastery. This is not your average personal development podcast. Here, we're questioning the narratives, dismantling limitations, and redefining what it means to lead yourself, your life, and your legacy. If you're ready to move beyond high achievement into intentional creation, you're in the right place. Let's begin crafting the ultimate masterpiece, you. A great question that I get asked all the time is, what is the difference between a high achiever and an elite performer? I'm going to break it down into various levels for us. And before I get started, please remove all judgment from this process. There is no right or wrong. There's no better or worse. We all have our own personal journey of evolution, and evolving from a high achiever to an elite performer is just that, a personal journey of choice, greater awareness, greater self-reclamation. But wherever you're finding yourself is perfect. So if what I'm sharing with you kind of jars a little bit and doesn't feel aligned for you, then let it go. The high achiever is, if you're a Gen X baby, you've been raised to be one, right? We are focused on the goals. We are focused on getting the right achievements, getting the right degrees, certification, going up the ladder. It's all very externally driven. It's about getting those results that the other people are telling us is important in life in order for us to be successful. And I'm going to say this as well, man, I loved my journey as a high achiever. It was adrenaline pumping. It was a lot of hustle and grind and push and motivation and all the things that, quite frankly, we become a little bit addicted to in society. We're told that once we reach a certain level of success through goal achievement, that we're going to find fulfillment and happiness. But alas, we all know by now that this is not true. Because high achiever is all about how am I being perceived on the journey of my life. It's about what do I look like and what do I get to make that others can see in acknowledgement of what it is that I'm doing. Again, nothing wrong with it. I was a high achiever for more than 40 years. It was freaking fabulous. But then I started realizing that there is a difference between how we are being perceived and the external expression of our actions, our results, our outcomes, and the internal experience of the entire journey. We always say, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. But when last have you taken the time to really connect to the statement and really feel the truth into this? It's about the journey, is about our experience of the journey. It's about how we feel in the moment of our journey. It's about how we feel about our journey. It calls for presence in the moment. It calls for a connection to emotions. I remember as a high achiever, one of my favorite things to say was, I have feelings. I feel hungry sometimes. And then I felt mad, bad, glad, or sad. That was about the extent that I was willing to feel. As an elite performer, you immerse yourself in the feeling of the experience. But before we get to elite performance, we can awaken to high performance. And high performance is when we start shifting from a high achiever, which is very goal-driven and goal-orientated, to immersing ourselves in the experience of a field in life, a specific area of life. So the high performer will be focused, for instance, on their profession, or they will be focused on their relationship, or they will be focused on their health and vitality. It is still a one-dimensional focus that we have. An elite performer understands that it's an all-dimensional experience, that we are one being, and life blends together in a tapestry of deliciousness. So your elite performer no longer cares about how we appear to other people. It's not about getting the accolades. It's not about getting acknowledgement for our life and what it is that we are creating. But as artists, we have a true love of the art of life, the artistry of life. And life becomes rich and we feel fulfilled. We find satisfaction and we create a living legacy. So, where the high achiever is externally focused, the elite performer is internally focused. Now, from the outside to the rest of the world, it doesn't look much different. And that's the whole point of it. We don't care what it looks like to other people. It's all about how we experience it. So as you are going along your journey, I invite you to just become a little bit more present during the day and ask yourself, what is my experience of this moment? And how much of what I'm focused on is for external validation, and how much is just the focus of the deliciousness of what it is that I am creating at the moment. Enjoy the journey of evolution from high achiever to high performer to elite performer. If you're ready to go even deeper into this, there's 2 of my books that I can recommend. One being the Little Book of Big Principles for Greatness, where I support you in shifting from one-dimensional goal setting to all-dimensional calibration. And my newest book, Mastering Self-Leadership, which is coming out on the 1st of March 2025, in which we go deep into the energetics of masculine and femininity, as well as the 7 keys to really unlocking self-leadership, which is where you unlock yourself as the intentional artist and therefore the elite performer. I hope that this has been of great value to you. And if you have any other questions, please do drop them in the comments and we can have those in our next conversation. That's it for today's episode of The Masterpiece Effect. But your transformation doesn't stop here. If something resonated, challenged you, or sparked a new insight, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts. Connect with me at alnash.com. And if you found value in this conversation, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because life's too short for mediocrity. Let's create a masterpiece. See you next time.